Well, hello, and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM News, your twice-weekly dose of the finest two-way propaganda. Y'all remember this pair of alleged douchebags? Now, I have to say alleged because they are also extremely litigious. Allegedly. They're the ambulance chasers who pleaded guilty to assault for pointing guns at BLM protesters who were walking in front of their mansion. Now, to be crystal clear, I don't think they're douchebags for arming themselves. Remember, this happened during the mostly peaceful riots of the Summer of Love, and those same BLM protesters had just pushed down the gates to this neighborhood so they could go protest in front of the mayor's house. The incident itself was just cringe and unbased. No, Mark is a douchebag because he gave his wife a gun with no firing pin, allegedly. And they're both just horrible people because their highly public and illegal use of force painted all of us gun owners as scared rich douchebags who point guns at people when they don't need to. They are also just not nice people for filing countless frivolous lawsuits over the dumbest things, and because Mark allegedly smashed some beehives erroneously placed a few feet onto his property by a neighboring synagogue, then threatening legal action if the congregation didn't come over and clean up the mess he made. Well, they're in the news again because they just got their misdemeanor convictions expunged. Why bother, considering they had already been pardoned? Because they are every bit as petty as they are wealthy, and having the record expunged allowed them to demand the return of those guns that they surrendered as a condition of their plea deal. But it would be impossible for us to produce quality two-way propaganda without sponsors, so let's pay some bills. Today's video is sponsored by Franklin Armory. It is a scientific fact that bad guys with twice as many holes are half as dangerous. It's math. It can't be wrong. Want reduced split times and tighter groups? With a Franklin Armory binary firing system, you can improve these important shooting metrics and more. Visit franklinarmory.com and gain the selectable option to fire on both the pull and release trigger functions of your semi-automatic firearm today. And by TNVC.com, the new Mars LC 2000 meter laser rangefinder is in stock and ready to ship. It's compact and packed with features including a built-in ballistic computer, Bluetooth, and a red aiming laser, as well as an IR ranging laser which cannot be detected by most night vision devices. And by Hydra. The Mark 15 Hydra is the most versatile black rifle platform the industry has ever seen. The most you will ever need to convert calibers is a barrel, a bolt, and a magazine well. You folks all know how pointless gun buyback events are. Countless studies have proven they have no measurable effect on crime. Everybody knows they are entirely performative. If anything, they provide a simple way to get rid of crime guns with no questions asked. But they do also make good propaganda by implying guns are filthy, evil totems that should be cleansed from our neighborhoods. And I'm sure many of you have long suspected dirty cops use them to score high-value collectibles. I will not be disabusing you of that notion today. San Antonio police officer David Mahula has been placed on indefinite suspension, which is pretty much like getting fired, for stealing guns from a voluntary gun confiscation event. A witness saw him place 2 shotguns in his vehicle, and he admitted to placing 2 rifles and a World War II era 1911 into his vehicle to safeguard them. He also admitted taking several boxes of ammo, and detectives found 9 boxes of ammo in his vehicle. The witness statement was corroborated by dashcam video from police cars, and 2 cops who were working the event said they asked him about the 1911, but he made a shushing motion. Why these 2 waited until an investigation had already started before coming clean is not clear at the moment. Will Mahula get fired? Doesn't he know he's supposed to wait until stuff is in the property room before he steals it? Will he face any criminal charges? Is it not really theft? What would happen to you if you took 5 guns and 9 boxes of ammo from a gun turn-in event? Hey, did y'all see this amazing shot a Florida SWAT sniper took on a bank robber with hostages? While other officers negotiated and distracted the bad guy, a marksman took up a position supported by a human bipod and cranked off a round of .308 right through a computer monitor and straight between 2 hostages directly into the robber's brain housing group. I want you to notice the monitor was at a bit of an angle to the path of the shot, so there was significant risk of the bullet deflecting. But this cop managed that risk, compensated best he could, and took a calculated shot, saving lives. Somebody buy that man a shot.
Whiskey for my men, beer for my horses.
Now, I tried to find a scummy picture of Gavin Newsom, but they're all scummy. He's like straight out of central casting for an 80s comedy villain. Newsom says, "I'm totally gonna do the gun control constitutional amendment thing. Honest. For real this time. I mean, if you elect me again in 3 years, probably." All Slick here has less chance of actually getting this done than a Parmesan crumb has of going unnoticed on Hunter Biden's floor. It's not just impossible for him to pass a 28th Amendment, he's not even close.
It ain't the same ballpark. It ain't the same league. It ain't even the same sport.
Not one other state has expressed the slightest interest in joining his effort to call a constitutional convention, but even if he did manage to call a constitutional convention, it can pass any amendments it wants to once it's convened. It could pass term limits, for example, or national permitless carry. Let's go! Not only does New Jersey continue to defy the Supreme Court by slow-walking carry permits, it has now come to light they are intentionally discriminating against black applicants. John Petrolino at Bearing Arms used the New Jersey permit to carry dashboard to determine that black applicants were denied carry permits at double the rate of white applicants. And they were denied for entirely subjective reasons. This is literally the exact thing the Supreme Court said they're not allowed to do with the Bruin decision. But that's not even the worst part. John Petrolino notified New Jersey Attorney General Matthew Platkin about his findings, then went on to discover through public records requests that a full month after being notified, Platkin had still issued no directions whatsoever to the personnel responsible for permitting. Now, we might have believed there was no intentional racism, but his failure to even look into the issue confirms he is intentionally denying people their right to bear arms based on their skin color. So if you think Platkin is a scumbag racist, I'd encourage you to hold your temper and use civil language with the innocent intern when you call his office at 609-984-5828. And now for your moment of Zen. Hey friends, do you like pews and other pew-related things? Would you like to help us keep delivering you pure, uncut American pew propaganda at the low, low price of free fitting? We literally couldn't pay the bills without our sponsors, so do us a solid and get yourself something nice from them. You deserve it. I love you.